Hello students. So today we are going to start the chapter solid state, which is the first chapter of your chemistry class 12th. In this chapter we are going to study about solid matter. Okay, as we know that there are three different phases of matter, different states of matter. One is gas, liquid and solid. In the previous year in class 11th we have studied about gases and liquids state of matter, but in class 12th the course of your class 12th chemistry is including the solid as your state of matter. Now, what are gases? The gases were the substances or the matter which is in which the molecules are having very far or they are having very large spaces between them. Due to that reason, they were not having any definite shape or they can easily flow. Okay. In case of liquids, the intermolecular forces was larger as comparison to that of the gases, but it was lower as comparison to that of the solids. Okay, and due to that reason they was having a shape, but that shape was not definite as comparison to that of your solid, as solids are having rigid or stable shape, but the shape of the liquid will change according to the container in which they are stored up. Okay, but in case of solids the molecules are having very strong intermolecular forces between them, due to which reason they are been arranged in a proper ordered manner in a three-dimensional shape, and due to that reason they are having rigid shape, and they are forming a proper three-dimensional structure. Next, what is a solid? Okay, so what is a solid? How we can define a solid? So the solid is having definite shape. Okay, the solid is having definite shape. Next, all the solids will be having definite volume due to presence of definite shape. They will be having definite volume also. They are highly incompressible. Okay, they cannot be compressed, or the molecules cannot be brought more closer to each other due to presence of very high intermolecular forces, strong intermolecular forces between them. They are having rigid structure. Okay, they are having rigid structure. The constituent particles are held together by strong intermolecular forces, okay, which can be either dipole-dipole force, ion-ion interaction, okay, or hydrogen bond, or covalent bond, or metallic bonds, or any other kind of bonds which are present between which are known as intermolecular forces, which you have studied in your class 11. Next, the particles of solids are having fixed position. Okay, the particles of solids are having fixed position, and at that fixed position only they are oscillating. Okay, they are oscillating. As in the previous class we have studied that all the all the molecules of a substance, all the molecules of a substance are all the molecules of a substance are, let's say it is a solid, it is a liquid, and it is a gas. Okay, so in case of solids, as there is very small space between two particles are there, so hence these particles cannot oscillate, or the thermal energy of these particles will be very low. You have in last class you have studied about thermal energy of the particles. So the thermal energy of the particles is nothing other than the energy by which they can oscillate. Okay, energy by which they can oscillate. So in case of liquid and in case of gas, the thermal energy is very high, as the distance between the particles is very high, due to which reason they are having high thermal energy and they can oscillate to a larger extent as comparison to that of the solids. While in case of solids, the distance between the two particles is very less, so they cannot oscillate very largely. So they can oscillate about their own fixed position, and they will be having very less thermal energy. So we can also define a solid like that. A solid is nothing other than which is formed by a liquid or a gas, when the thermal energy of the particles of that particular substance is been reduced. Okay, when the thermal energy of these particles of gaseous particle or the liquid particle is been reduced, then the oscillation of the particles will be reduced out here, and due to this reason they will be converted into a particular shape which is having lower oscillating power or lower oscillation between the particles, and due to this reason they will come close to each other, and they will form a rigid structure which is known as a solid. Okay, which is known as a solid. So hence this is the proper definition for a solid, which is formed by liquids only, not any other substance. Okay, let's move further. Next is the types of solids. So we can differentiate solids on two different types. Okay, we can classify solids on two different types, which is based on the atomic arrangement and binding energy and their physical and chemical properties. Okay, these two types of solids are based on the atomic arrangement, their binding energy, and physical and chemical properties. What are these two types of solids? One is the crystalline solid and another one is the amorphous solid. Okay. Next, what is crystalline solid? So the crystalline solids are the solids whose constituents are arranged in a regular manner throughout the entire three-dimensional network. Okay, all around throughout their three-dimensional structure or three-dimensional network, there would be a proper regular geometrical structure found out in case of crystalline solids. Okay, there will be a presence of crystalline lattice there. Okay, there will be a crystalline lattice present out there. For example, if I am considering in case of NaCl, the Na and Cl, okay, if small sphere is showing Cl and large is showing the Na particle, then NaCl like this, they will be arranged with each other, and they will be forming they will be forming a square plane like this. Okay, like this square plane will be just behind it, and due to this reason we will see that a cubical structure will be formed out here. Okay, a cubical structure will be formed out here. So hence we can say that this is the lattice. So means the lattice, if I am going to define lattice, then what is lattice? Lattice is nothing other than the position for a particle, position for a particle, position of particle. Okay, that is known as lattice point. And when I am saying that lattice structure or lattice, crystal lattice, okay, so it defines the structure formed out by the particles in three-dimensional shape. If I am considering for common salt, so for common salt that structure is like that of a cube. Okay, you will found out that the lattice for a NaCl's lattice is cubical in shape. Okay, so this cube shows arrangement, this cubical structure shows the arrangement in case of NaCl. Okay, so this NaCl is forming a cubical shape which is known as lattice, and this cubical shape will be forming these cubical shapes, more cubical shapes will be joined with each other to form a crystal of a NaCl. Okay, this single structure is known as the lattice. Next, a crystalline lattice is a solid figure which has a definite geometrical shape. As I have told you that this geometrical shape was a cubical shape here with flat faces and sharp edges. And the flat faces in case of NaCl, it was a square, and the edges were containing all the atoms there. Next, they are incompressible and they are orderly arranged. Okay, I have told you by taking an example of NaCl that all the cubes are arranged with each other to form a crystal of NaCl. Next, they are having definite sharp melting point. Okay, they will be having definite sharp melting point. They will be anisotropic in nature. They will be anisotropic in nature. They will be having definite geometry. Okay, they will be having definite geometry in case of diamond, in case of salt crystals, and all in other crystals, metal crystals. You will find out that they are having definite geometrical shapes. Next, they give X-ray diffraction bands when treated, when reacted, or when X-rays are thrown over these crystalline solids. They will give X-ray diffraction bands. Okay, diffraction bands. Next, some of the examples for crystalline solid is NaCl, CaCl, iron, copper. All these are examples for your crystalline solids. Next is the amorphous solid. Okay. So what is amorphous solid? The word amorphous is derived from the word amorph, which is a Greek word which means shapeless. So here we can we can conclude that the solids which are having not having regular shapes, but they are having haphazard arrangement. Okay, they are having haphazard arrangement. Geometrical shapes are present in the formation of the solid, but these geometrical shapes are not regular. Okay, these geometrical shapes are not regular. Then that type of solids are known as amorphous solids. Also considered as non-crystalline solids or supercooled liquids. They are also called as supercooled liquids. No sharp melting points are there. If I am considering and I am taking an example for glass. So glasses are not having any sharp melting point. Sharp melting point is not present. They softens to a very large range of temperature. When we are heating glass, we will not melt glass very easily. It will require very high amount of heat in order to melt the glass. Okay, it can be softened very easily by giving very high temperature, but to make it into liquid form, a very high amount of heat will be required, due to which reason we can say that it is not having any sharp melting point. Next, they are isotropic in nature. What is isotropic and anisotropic, I will discuss in further in this lecture only. Okay, next, they are not having any definite geometrical shape. Okay, they are not having any definite geometrical shape. Also, they does not give any X-ray diffraction band. Okay, they does not give any X-ray diffraction band when X-rays are bombarded on the amorphous solids. What are the examples of amorphous solids? So glass, rubber, or plastics are some of the examples of your amorphous solids. Next, let's see the structure for crystalline, polycrystalline, or amorphous solids. Okay, so this is the structure for crystalline solid. Here you can see that the arrangement of the molecules is regularly arranged with each other. Okay, you can see a proper regular arrangement for molecules or atoms or ions in case of crystalline solids. In case of polycrystalline solids, you can see the arrangement is somewhat regular, but at some places it is irregular. Means you can say that they are semi-crystalline in nature. Okay, but in case of amorphous solid, you can see that it is very irregular in shape. Okay, it is very irregular in shape. More example, I am taking an example of rock salts crystalline structure. Here you can see that geometrical structure is regular here. The geometrical pattern is regular throughout this crystalline solid. But in case of glass, you can see that the structure is not regular. It is random here. Okay, sorry, it is random here, and hence glass is an amorphous solid while rock salt is a crystalline solid. Let's move further. Now, how we can compare the crystalline and amorphous solid? So the amorphous solid and crystalline solids can be considered or can be compared on the basis of the different norms. Okay, so what is the first? The first is the order of arrangement of the molecules. Okay, order of arrangement of the molecules. So the first point of differentiation is the appearance. While crystalline solids are orderly arranged in a regular fashion, amorphous solids do not have any regular arrangement. Okay. Next, due to this crystalline solids have both long range and short range order, while amorphous solids are having only short range order. Okay. Crystalline solids are having very high or sharp melting point, while in case of amorphous solid, they are not having high or sharp melting point temperature. Next, crystalline solids shows definite heat of fusion, while amorphous solids does not show definite heat of fusion, as they are not having any sharp melting point temperature. So therefore, the amount of heat will be sometime less or sometime higher, depending on the according to the structural or atomic structure they are having. Next, crystalline solids undergo a clean cleavage when cut with a sharp object such as knife. While in case of amorphous solid, it will be irregular. Okay, irregular cleavage will be found out there. Means when we cut crystalline solid with a knife, we will found plain and smooth surfaces generated there. But in case of amorphous solid, no plain or smooth surfaces will be generated. Irregular surfaces will be generated out there. Crystalline solid shows anisotropy while amorphous solids show isotropy. Okay. Next, all these properties make crystalline solid true solids, and amorphous solids are called as pseudo solids or super cooled liquids. So as it is very hard to remember this thing, so you can use this mnemonic in order to remember this thing. What is this mnemonic? Overreacting created many new health problems for LEs. Okay, overreacting created many new health problems for LEs. Here, overreacting O is showing the order. Okay, order of arrangement. Next, created C is showing the what is the range, what is the short order range or long order range or crystallines long order range structure, and amorphous short order range structure. Then M, many's M will be showing the melting point. Okay, on the basis of melting point, we have compared the both of them. Then N shows the heat of fusion. Okay, N shows the sorry, H shows the heat of fusion there. Okay, H shows the heat of fusion there. Next, P shows the cutting. Okay, cutting slice or cleavage. Okay. Next, A shows the types of solid. Okay, types of solid, they are amorphous solid or amorphous solids are supercooled liquids or pseudo liquids, while crystalline solids are true solids. Okay, let's move further. Let's discuss about what is isotropy and anisotropy. So what is anisotropy? Anisotropy is a property of substances to exhibit variations in physical properties along different molecular axes. It is seen in liquid crystals and less common in liquids. Okay, so it is generally seen in crystals, and in liquid crystals also we can see that anisotropy property is there, and very less in liquids. So what is anisotropy? Let's define it. So for example, consider a primitive cubic crystal lattice. Okay, I am considering a primitive cubic crystal lattice structure shown here. In this instance, all the atoms are of same element. Okay, all the atoms are of same element. Distance AB, BC and AB, AC and AD, they all are all different. If AB distance is 1 unit, A minus C is under 2 units and under root 2 units, and AD is 3 units. Okay, so weaving the structure along an axis following the direction AB looks different from along an axis. If I am saying AB from here, so we can see that AB from x-axis will be seen as a line, but when I am seeing it from y-axis, it will be seen as points. Okay, while from z-axis you will see as an inclined line there. Okay, similarly AD and AC, all these directions, from different direction we will see them as different forms. This lead to different physical and mechanical properties to be represented by the crystals there. Okay, examples, they will be having different electrical or different thermal conductivity or different light polarization power from different directions or different axes when the lights or the electricity or the thermal energy is being given to this type of cubic crystals or lattices. Okay, so this type of property, that they are having different properties from different axes, this property is known as isotropy, anisotropy. But when the properties are same from all the directions, then that type of property is known as isotropy. So as in previous part we have studied that the crystalline solids are crystalline solids are anisotropic. Okay, crystalline solids are anisotropic, while amorphous solids are isotropic. Okay, so this shows the anisotropy and isotropy. What is anisotropy? Anisotropy is that crystalline solids will be having different properties when viewed from different when different properties will be shown when different directions are used for giving light or giving electricity. While in case of amorphous solid, they will be having same property when different things are, or different physical properties will not be seen from different directions. They will be having same physical properties from all directions. Okay, so I am ending this class here only after the anisotropy, and we will move further in the next class and move further in this chapter.